Howie Roseman did it. For the first time since 2002, the Philadelphia Eagles have taken a cornerback in the first round of the NFL draft, and they didn't even have to trade up to get Quinyon Mitchell, the number one cornerback on my board. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles now. Our draft coverage is sponsored by 8 Sleep. Get $200 off the pod cover at 8sleep.com/chatsports. Use the code chatsports. What a move for Howie Roseman. And I felt as though Philadelphia needed to address the cornerback spot. And with how the board fell, with 5 quarterbacks going in the first round, with the first 13, 14 picks all being offensive players, all these great defensive players started to slide down the draft board. And that was great news for Philadelphia. And I had said in the lead up to the draft that if 5 quarterbacks go inside the top 15, that's going to allow Philadelphia to be in a really prime position to get a player who they really covet without having to trade up. Now, I thought that Quinyon Mitchell, because he's the top corner on my board, was going to go before Terrion Arnold. So I had in my final mock draft Philadelphia moving up to take Terrion Arnold. But Quinyon Mitchell was the first cornerback taken in this draft with the 22nd overall pick. One of the big surprises, because Michael Penix went 8 to the Atlanta Falcons, Bo Nix at number 12 to the Denver Broncos, J.J. McCarthy went number 10 to the Minnesota Vikings, causing all of these really premium defensive assets to slide down the draft board. And there was so much chatter about Philadelphia working the phones. Howie Roseman wanted to move up in order to take a cornerback. He was able to stay put at 22. He didn't have to move number 50, number 53, or any future draft capital to get a dog, a cornerback who fulfills a massive need, who's the number one corner on my board, who has excellent ball skills. Really good size at 6 feet, 195 pounds. He is a speedy corner who in the pre-draft process clocked a 4.33 40-yard dash. He fared well in both man and zone coverage. Some people have concerns that while playing in the MAC conference at Toledo, he didn't play a lot of press. But then he went down to Mobile, Alabama, and at the Senior Bowl, he fared really well in those spots. He could be a little bit stiff coming in and out of his breaks, but the speed is certainly there, being able to clock the 4.33 40-yard dash. What excites me about this player is that you needed to draft the cornerback now and for the future. Darius Slay is 33. James Bradbury is 31, and he might be cooked. Yes, you have Keely Ringo, and you have Eli Ricks, who are young players. But when you want to talk about value here, this is a great value play for Philadelphia. They didn't have to matriculate up the draft board and sacrifice draft capital to get a player who they clearly like. And in today's pass-happy NFL, in which, as we saw tonight, teams are valuing offense over defense, you need to be able to have a pass rush, but secondarily to that, you need to be able to have upper echelon cornerback play. And Quinyon Mitchell's going to be able to give that to you. And as far as the ball skills go, 19 pass breakups in 2023, 25 pass breakups in 2022, 6 combined interceptions over the last 2 years. And as I've said, I think that he's a plug-and-play player, and that's why in one of my mock drafts, I had him going to the Eagles because I think it's a great scheme fit, and I like the dog mentality as far as the cultural fit and the city fit. He's twitchy, he's tough, reminds a lot of people of Jair Alexander. This is a home run hit for Howie Roseman here. I'm giving this pick an A. I want to hear from you down in the comment section. What are you grading this pick? A, B, C, D, or F? Sound off night one of the NFL draft with what you think of this draft selection for the Eagles here. More scouting analysis and some thoughts on him. The Senior Bowl tape was very impressive. He was able to guard a variety of wide receivers, whether they be X wideouts or boundary wideouts. The speed allowed him to really maintain the speed and the feet-by-feet comparisons with some of those other wideouts. He's a composed and fluid athlete, solid size. He reached 23.58 miles per hour in practice. He asked his coaches to be coached hard. So that's really what the Eagles are about as far as the cultural influence that they tried to bring in players, as far as their organization goes. And you look at the numbers in 2023, he had a Pro Football Focus coverage grade of 91.6 to go along with those 19 pass breakups, 1 pick, had the 41 tackles, a productive special teams player, 444 career snaps, both on punt return and punt coverage units. So that can allow him to be an impact player right away defensively. But if you want him to play special teams, he can do that. Blocked a punt in 2023. He's reserved by nature, described as humble and reliable by his teammates. But when he gets on the field, he's just a different type of animal. The athletic Stain Brugler with the scouting profile on Quinyon Mitchell. Balance and size, speed athlete who stays in phase up and down the field, does not panic, makes plays on the football at a high rate. His tape and traits show an NFL-ready starter with a bright future. He had him as the number 11 overall player in his draft class. And again, Philadelphia gets him with the 22nd overall pick. As I mentioned off the rip, our draft coverage is sponsored by 8 Sleep. The pod cover will improve your sleep by automatically adjusting your bed's temperature based on your individual needs. The cover can be added to any bed like a fitted sheet, and it allows you and your partner to cool or warm your side of the bed as low as 55 degrees and up to 110 degrees. In addition to keeping you at the perfect temperature all night, the pod also tracks your sleep and health metrics. On average, pod users see their sleep quality improve by 32% after just 1 month on the pod. No better way to improve your day-to-day life better than sleep. Easiest way to do that, 8 Sleep Pod 3. Start the new year right, invest in the rest that you deserve, and kickstart your day fully charged. Go to 8sleep.com/chatsports. Get $200 off plus free shipping on the pod cover by 8 Sleep. It's the intelligent sleep system that you've been looking for. The device goes right next to your bed. You power everything right from the power of your own phone. And if you're trying to get intimate with your significant other, you'll be comfortable and recharged in order to do that. We'll put all of this information down below in the comment section and in the description of this video. 8 Sleep making our Quinyon Mitchell to the Eagles video possible, and we appreciate them for all of the support, as I mentioned. So going back to Quinyon Mitchell here, and you talk about the resume here, I think the balance is important to have at the cornerback spot. The pedal, the footwork, the speed, it's a rare blend of that. He's been a big-time playmaker. He did face several talented opponents. He did allow an 8-yard touchdown on Marvin Harrison Jr. in the 2022 Ohio State game. The concerns, he didn't go up against a gauntlet of high-level receivers at the MAC. Was an outside corner. Minimal experience lining up on the inside. Only 4.7% of his defensive snaps came in the slot. You're not drafting him, though, to be in the slot. You were drafting him to be on the outside. So I get why some people are a little bit worried about the lack of competition at Toledo, but he broke records for the most pass breakups there in the college ranks. Didn't miss a game the last 3 years. And I just think that when you have instincts at the quarterback spot, when you can make plays on the football, and when you are racking up 52 pass breakups over 3 years, that's the instinctual element that you need at the cornerback position to make plays on the football, to produce turnovers, to produce pass breakups. And Philadelphia's defense simply did not do a good enough job of that last year. 31-inch arms, wingspan of 75 3/4 inches, so the arms are a little bit shorter, but has the physicality and the overall speed where if he gets beat, he's going to be able to recover there. And just that elite ball production, with half of his pass breakups coming downfield, the other half from his read and drive conviction downhill. He had a 4-interception game. 2 were returned for touchdowns. So a big-time player who made big-time plays. Again, you talk about value. You talk about the need. You talk about the future. You talk about what he's projected to be. Howie Roseman not having to move up in order to get a player with a boatload of potential and just get a player who fits the mold of what the city is all about. Quinyon Mitchell to Philadelphia is the real deal. You finally drafted a corner for the first time since 2002, and it's a great selection for the Eagles here. Be sure to subscribe. Every pick that the Eagles make, in addition to draft grades, we'll be talking about that here on the channel as well. Hit that sub button down below. Eagles on day 2 of the draft do not have a third-round pick, but they will be on the board at 50 and 53. And as I was mentioning a little bit earlier, with the way that the draft board is kind of shaking out, I think some good players are going to fall to that second round. And we could pop up the Eagles offseason profile here. They signed A.J. Brown to that contract extension, $32 million per year, a bunch of guaranteed money. They still have a lot of cap space as of right now, $28.85 million, number 7 in the league. They've been busy and active this offseason. Saquon Barkley, Bryce Huff, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Devin White, traded for Kenny Pickett. They always value a good backup quarterback. And 8 picks in this draft, 3 inside the top 100. So at 50 and 53, you can go with the wide receiver. You can go with the linebacker to continue to fortify the defensive side of the football. A big reason why Philadelphia lost 6 of their last 7 regular season games, 7 of their last 8. They could not stop anybody. They could not cover anybody. And Quinyon Mitchell can help your defense from the get-go. What position should the Eagles draft next? Forecast it, predict it, let us know. As always, thank you so much for your support. And don't forget to subscribe to us here on Philadelphia Eagles Now.